Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning, I want to make clear my stance on a topic that is foundational to our great republic. I firmly support our Second Amendment. It's not just one right among many. All other amendments depend on the Second Amendment. Because when the power to restrain force is removed from the people and placed entirely in the hands of government, every other liberty becomes fragile. The Constitution is clear. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That text doesn't ask for interpretation first. It states a principle. Gun legislation that chips away at that right, restricts it beyond what the text permits, or treats citizens like exceptions to be managed is unconstitutional in spirit and in substance. The Second Amendment is there to prevent overreach, not to invite it. And let's be honest about what's behind the push for control. A government that wants to control your life eventually wants to control your ability to resist. That's why the Second Amendment matters. It's a safeguard against absolute power. As the old truth puts it, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. When one side holds overwhelming authority and the other side is left defenseless, power stops being accountable, and that is when liberties erode. The Second Amendment is also America's original homeland security. Before there were agency programs, before there were emergency protocols and systems of response, the people themselves were the first line of defense. For 250 years, the Second Amendment helped keep this nation alive, because it empowers ordinary citizens to protect themselves, their families, and their communities. We don't have to guess what happens when gun rights are restricted and then gradually removed. We can look at modern examples of what confiscation can look like, especially when it starts with emotion and ends with enforcement. Consider the United Kingdom. After a major school incident in the late 1990s, the public was driven by grief and anger, and at that moment was used to push sweeping policy. Rules tightened, buybacks and removals expanded, and the language of public safety became the bridge too far, reaching control. Decades later, people have faced arrest for things that have nothing to do with violence, like praying in the street or social media posts. The point isn't that the UK is the same as the United States. The point is the pattern. Once rights are treated as conditional, the state doesn't stop because control is the goal. That is exactly why the Second Amendment must be protected now, not later. Today's common sense measures are often designed to normalize restrictions. Normalized restrictions become precedents. Precedents become systems. And systems, step by step, become something else entirely. A country where citizens are no longer secure in their ability to defend themselves, and when liberty becomes something the government grants only when it feels like it. So here's my message, plain and firm. We must protect our Second Amendment rights to ensure our freedoms, our liberties, and our way of life. We defend the Second Amendment not because it's convenient, but because it's constitutional. We defend it not because it's trendy, but because it's necessary. And we defend it because it's one of the last restraints standing between the people and unchecked power. I stand with we the people. God bless you, God bless Tennessee, and God bless America.